Alrighty. Let me turn off the title card so we can see the screen. Hello, viewers, and anyone who hears this today, or whenever it is that you would hear this. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out for our finale of Pristine Suits. We are joined here today by my lovely heroes, my friends, and fellow role players, who I will allow them to introduce themselves. I will pass it once again down the Discord call to Aqua.
Hi, I'm Aqua, also known as Aqua Sylph. I'll be playing as Cosmic Rain today, the Outsider class. You can find me on Twitch occasionally, and possibly more on social media as things develop. But yeah, just here enjoying the company of these lovely people.
Always good to hang out with you, Aqua.
Thank you for having me.
Alright, pass it on.
Let's say right.
Hello?
Ross.
It is I, Ross, aka Mr. Fix-It, or Robert Bobbert. I'll be playing the Bull, and I'm just a guy who enjoys playing tabletop RPGs with my friends, who are all here, which is great. And I'm gonna pass it to Connor.
That's me. I'm Distortion Devil. People just call me Connor, though. You can find me everywhere at Distortion Devil, basically. I stream every day except Wednesdays and Saturdays. And today, I'll be continuing to play Noah Butler, aka Wink, the sleepy superhero, and he is the Nova.
Well, thank you for being here, my dear friend. Who else have we got with us today? Let's pass it to one of the others. Right, Ray, you good to go?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Hi, I'm Ray, also known as Key Inc. or Calligraphy Inc. on various platforms. I will be playing as Aurora Lucky Aurora, who is the book The Star. Pass it on to, last but not least, Gaius.
Hello, I'm Gaius Ghostpaws. You can find me anywhere under Gaius Ghostpaws. And today I will be playing the artist formerly known as Wave Index, Magnitude, the Scion book.
And
to pass it back to our DM.
I am joined here by my lovely players. I am Leah, aka Musing Thalia. If you're listening to this or hear this, then you have somehow found me on the internet, likely through one of my lovely friends here. But thank you all for being here. Thank you all for hanging out. And normally we would start off right now by asking everyone what their potentials and everything are, but I don't feel it is as relevant as today is our finale. So we are just gonna be rolling into things, and I will take the reins as far as giving a recap goes. So none of you feel the pressure to do so. So in that case, to recap where we left off last time with our heroes, the superhero team, partially led by one of the original heroes, Mr. Fix-It, have found themselves falling into the position of a new hero team following the untimely and tragic death of a hero known as Ricochet, the grandson of Mr. Fix-It, with all of the other members being, at least in some way, either connected to or inspired by said hero. They all have found solace in teaming up together and carrying on his legacy to continue protecting the city that he gave his life for. Beating up bandits and uncovering a conspiracy within the city, the party has eventually, despite being suspended, found their way into a compound owned and operated by one Stacy Cobb, tech mogul. After uncovering her true identity as the supervillain, Light Show, and beginning to disturb her plans to what it seems like disable the abilities of superheroes across the city, and using giant mechs in some way establish a rule of her own here. The party has infiltrated the compound, and now, after destroying a supply line, gathering a bunch of information, and taking on a giant mecha all by himself in the case of Mr. Fix-It, the party now stands surrounded by Cobb's private army, ostensibly, a giant mech, and the supervillain Light Show herself. We now dive back into our fight once more. Because of how this game works, it is very much you all have the choice of action here. There is no initiative in the way that this would traditionally work. So I will just set the scene specifically for you all. And anytime that, as usual with this game, anytime that you feel like it is a good time for you to jump in, I will try to make sure we touch on everyone before we come back around. But if there is a moment that you feel is appropriate for you, hop in. But to give the actual visual of where you are, our heroes standing outside the now rubble of the manufacturing building that has now been destroyed. Some of you covered in a little bit of dust, and kind of superhero team posing with the rest of your allies who have come from one of these research buildings to the north. You all stand side by side, facing down, as previously described, an army of Cobb's private soldiers. All of these soldiers are wielding these strange looking, almost ray guns. They have the design of a gun, but on the end is some sort of small satellite dish, and these sort of air warps that fire out from them. Aurora, you've interacted with them a little bit, and as they kind of fire initial volley, I'm going to say once again, you do the thing you had done previously, in that you throw up your light shield, and you notice them sort of like almost disrupting it as it's starting to weaken around you, this protective barrier, as they continue firing into you. Whatever these weapons do, it seems that they disrupt abilities in some capacity similar to the giant satellite, though not to the same extent or capacity. Some of these soldiers, while others are firing in, some of these soldiers pull out like what look like little shock batons and to begin charging towards you. Fix-It, you were separated from the group slightly as you dove forward and began tearing into one of these mechs, taking it out by the knee on the first glass, smashing holes into it. You, like, sweat pouring down your brow as you pour every last bit of your strength into punching a hole in this thing. And as you were about to throw it towards the giant satellite dish, it was activated, albeit briefly, and you feel your strength returning as the technological prowess of one Cosmic Rain was able to, at least for now, counteract the abilities or the signal that is being created by the giant satellite dish. And where we left off specifically was with Cobb's face changing from a gloat to a look of concern as the light barrier flickers for a second as the satellite is activated, but then rises once more to protect you all as your powers come rushing back to you. Is there anything in this moment specifically, as this army is bearing down on you, firing these psychic blasts, as Cobb reaches out a hand, and Aurora, you feel your barrier beginning to weaken as you all see little motes of light rising towards her as her body begins to glow, very, very clearly countering Aurora's abilities. I now hand it to you all.
So you said that the combined wave of the guns and now Light Show herself are weakening the barrier, right?
Correct, yeah.
In a moment, Magnitude looks around at the barrier and then looks at Aurora, and sure, the powers are tied directly to her, but the Earth isn't. So to reinforce, they attempt to protect their allies by raising a shield around the outer layer of the barrier to give Aurora a break.
Okay,
Just
all
like-
right. This is very different from how you normally use your abilities.
Mhm.
So I'm going to have you specifically, I believe that this would be defending. So I'm going to have you roll plus savior here, or roll to defend.
And that thing I have active is still active from last time? The game phase?
Yeah. Yep.
Bam.
Oh, that's an 11. That's a full hit. Hell yeah. In that case, with a full hit, so you roll plus savior for NPC threats. On a hit, you keep them safe and choose one. On a 7 to 9, it costs you no, this is NPC threat, not PC threat, because it's enemy doing it. On a 7 to 9, it costs you, but on a and choose one on a hit.
Yeah.
So on a 7 to 9, it costs you, or you escalate the situation. You expose yourself to danger in some way. But with a full 11, you just pick. So you may either add a team, take influence, or clear a condition.
All right. In this moment, because they're acting to protect the team, they're going to add a team to the pool.
All right. That little number up here at the top, I'll increase the size of it. That is our team pool for this page. Let me increase the size of this baby.
But I guess it's a description of how that worked.
Yeah. Give me a physical description. With the one team added and the one at the start of the session plus the one for engaging foes, you actually have 4 team right now.
Excellent. All right. They trust Aurora's shield to be able to hold up. And it's not like they're going to slam it. They're going to use this in such a way that it would be harsh against Aurora. But they put their arms out to the side and they sort of make a gesture with their hands. And you see the earth around the outside of the bubble start to rumble. And then they simply make like a little closing gesture with their hands. And you just see it start to swirl and break up the concrete and swirl it into what appear like sort of like a barrier that goes around the outside, and then they sort of like flex their hands again and it solidifies around the outside. So now those blasts are hitting concrete that has been remolded rather than the bubble.
With this sort of ripple of earth and stone, you like slam your foot on the ground. You begin warping your waves, your tectonic energy, and kind of crushing the earth around you and then lifting it up with other resonant ripples. You create an actual physical barrier between y'all, and you hear the blast which were firing into the light barrier just sort of stop. And they would go for a little bit, but you hear them. It's a very different sound as it hits stone. There's not that sort of like boop, 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 boop. It's sort of like almost echoey sound. It's more like a dull thudding, like hitting, like something slamming into dirt. And it like slowly begins to stop as you hear people yelling on the other side of it, like what sounds like orders, but probably a commander of some kind sort of directing it. Uh, Outside of the barrier, Mr. Fix-It, a bunch of these people are either firing at you, or I will actually give you the opportunity. Do you try to retreat back to the group, or do you just continue fighting Fix-It?
I think Fix-It is kind of reliving his glory days, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
So he just kind of he has a literally ability called Punch Everyone, and I think he's just gonna start doing that.
Yeah. What does Punch Everyone do? Punch
Whenever
Everyone.
you charge
So
into
good.
a fight without hedging your bets, you can shift your danger up and any other label down.
Hell yeah.
So I think I'm gonna have a. Can I have a danger of 4?
No, you
Or is
cannot
3
have a
maximum?
danger. So normally you cannot have a danger of 4 because it is the finale. I will say yes. So this is not something that is normally allowed in the system, but because you haven't gotten to use this ability too much, and because it's the finale, I will allow it.
Perfect. Oh, it won't. Actually, it won't.
It
let me
won't let
adjust
you,
it
so you're gonna
before,
have
so
to
I'll just have to go
manually
plus
add a
1.
1 to it,
Gotcha.
like when you
But
roll it.
yeah. 1. He's just so mad. Not only a hit, but he just starts like picking up. If he sees like a person, he'll do like a quick check, like if they're like a robot or a person. So he'll like bring it to their face, like face to face. They'll like take off their mask, person, and kind of just tosses them aside. And if he picks up their mask, robot, and he just like punches the robot's head off.
Yeah, you're finding that there are the 2 big mechs, but also like a lot of these soldiers aren't actual humans. They're literally just like androids or robots of some kind that are also sort of like following orders and firing into. So you and it's hard to tell, like, because they're wearing the same sort of like suit and outfit, like gear. So you like pull off the helmet, toss one to the side, pull off another helmet, punch the head off. On a 7 to 9, you get to pick one. So you may either resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
I think he's gonna try to make an opportunity for his allies.
All
Is
right.
that another team pool?
No, that doesn't add. This is just a narrative thing that it does. So resist or avoid their blows means if you don't choose that one, that means that they are responding in some capacity,
Yeah,
right?
Let him respond.
All right. Because you have engaged and not chose to resist, you will either you get a choice here. You may either mark a condition or I take a move.
I think right now you taking a move would be the best.
Alrighty. In that case, I am going to. I think I'm going to. I think I'm gonna make you pay a price for No. I'm gonna make a villain move here. In that case, condition moves villains a fight. They mark a condition. So I'm gonna mark angry in this case on Cobb because you're fighting against her soldiers, and then I'm gonna take a Cobb move for her. So I'm gonna have her take the move. Yeah, I'm gonna have her do two. I'm gonna have her do 2 things. Not like they're all part of the same situation, but she sort of issues a command into some sort of headset of hers, and you watch as people like begin almost sort of like splitting off, and the sound of the soldiers outside of the barrier created for the rest of you sort of begins to die down as you finish fighting a bunch of them, and you notice that this like group of soldiers is starting to bear down on you as a bunch more of them come to engage you, Mr. Fix-It. However, I'm going to then swap back to Cosmic Rain as you look up as you're kind of because you had your tech sort of thing, like you were recording and you were keeping an eye on her. You look up and you see Stacy Cobb move over to her radio dish and begin programming it, like begin interacting with it in some sort of technological capacity. You're not quite sure what she's up to in this moment. The rest of you have an opportunity. These soldiers that were about to like come over and begin attacking the rest of you, you hear them sort of begin to march away, and you hear the sounds of fighting on the other side of the barrier. For Aurora, Rain, and Wink, what are the any of you do?
Now, how far away is she?
She's up at the top of of this like giant satellite dish.
Let's see. So my immediate desire is wanting to sabotage the satellite dish.
Alrighty.
On that end, I'm also going to push a button on my comm and call in my ship to come to us.
Oh, hell yeah. Do you have an ability for that, or is this just narrative at the moment?
It's just narrative.
All right, cool. That's totally fine. I just wanted
craft.
to. You're calling in your spacecraft. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is your moment of truth, out of curiosity?
So my moment of truth is, let's see here, calling in my what was it? What's the word? Let me see what the name is. But essentially, I call in help from my homeworld.
Oh, I think I think that I will allow you to say calling in your ship can be that moment of truth. That way, not only is it more of a narrative thing, but also it can have a greater effect if you use your moment of truth on that.
Okay. All right, because I had my full potential, but I hadn't spent it yet. But also, because the moment of truth basically is you call home, they call for aid, they answer your call in force, arriving exactly when you need them to turn the tide. They fight and serve you for the rest of the battle, but then I'd probably have to go home afterward.
I mean, you have to go home afterward is up to you. That will be the narrative for part of the epilogue.
Likely.
It's likely, right? But we can handle that as part of the epilogue. Have you thought about a move that you would want to take?
Let's see. I wasn't sure if we were going to be limited. Let's see.
Not particular. So early on in this game, I gave everyone the chance to just unlock your moment of truth, so you don't have to spend on that. However, because you got full potential, you can spend your moment, or you can use your moment of truth and then buy your moment of truth again with your potential, which I would say would counteract the you have to go home afterwards.
I mean, we'll see. I'm still up in the air whether I might still, because I have ideas.
Got it. I think for the moment, I'll let you think about it. I'll let you look at your moves. And I think for the moment, we see you pull up your like tech pad and begin tapping into it. You're trying to hack into the systems of the giant satellite. But I think in this moment, I'm going to say that you realize you need to be physically next to it. Like you need to interact with it physically. You're not going to be able to tap into the systems from a distance.
I was going to have my ship just come in and just like ram into the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what you like. We see you tapping away at it, and you're realizing this, and you know she's up there and she's quite powerful. So that is when you call in your ship, and we have a flash as you tap that button. It flashes to a console within your ship, and there's like a bloop, 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 bloop. And as the like ship activates and rising out of the water, a bunch of it just like sort of separating, it's creating these waves and ripples back on the lake where it is back in New Columbia. We see the ship lift out of the water and then begin rushing off towards the hills where you all are. What does your ship coming out of the water look like? Like, because we've gotten a description of it from underwater. Yeah. What does it look like coming out of the water?
Well, so it's not going to look like too crazy. It's going to look like just a mass of water, like an orb, like shiny water, basically. But So it's not going to look like your traditional like metal ship. Just it's actually surrounded by like a watery like barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, like to sort of help it when it's traveling through space anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's like flying across, it doesn't look like your typical UFO. Instead, it just looks like this like amorphous sort of like glob of
like a giant
a
drop of
huge
water,
glob of water.
basically.
Yeah,
like a giant
yeah.
drop of water. And I love the idea that like when it's moving, you know how like a teardrop or a raindrop, it creates that like that drop shape, right?
Yeah.
When it's like flying through the air, it almost creates a trail after it, kind of like that.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
it warps through the air towards you. That'll take a minute to get here. In the meantime,
I was gonna say, as that as
Mhm.
I'm doing that though, I did want to turn to like and like let my immediate teammates know like I'm calling in like reinforcement.
all right, you're calling in reinforcements. You got it. What did
And mention,
Aurora?
but basically also mention like we have to stop Cobb. She's at the satellite.
Yeah, what do you have like? Yeah, I think unless you want to specifically state it in character, you're just like, we got to stop Cobb. I'm bringing in some help. And we
Yeah.
see you like tapping away at your little console. For Wink and Aurora, what do the two of you do in this sort of like condensed moment, I suppose?
I think Aurora is guarding everyone while they're taking their positions and going to take out the robots around them, because that's Aurora's best at defending at the moment.
You were guarding everyone. Magnitude had, because the barrier was being weakened by Cobb and was being weakened by these soldiers firing into it. Magnitude created a little like an earth barrier between the soldiers and you all. So I'm going to say, like, narratively, you were almost like getting a little tired trying to hold the barrier because Cobb was absorbing it, and you were like fighting against the blast from these soldiers' ray guns. So it is
right.
I think it's in this moment you hear the kind of like lumbering creak and thud as the four of you still in this sort of like earth barrier would look up and see the like giant mech sort of looming down and bearing down on the group of you.
Do we know if the mech is piloted or if it is the same as these like android folks? That is just like,
I don't think that had been determined. If it is unpiloted, it's not a mech, it's a robot in that case. It's just giant robot.
Okay.
So like it would technically not be a mech in that capacity. But so I would allow you to. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say that you saw, because like this happened at the end of last session. You saw Mr. Fix-It like dive in and attack the other one. And you didn't see like any pilot eject. You didn't see any cockpit. These are likely giant robots, not actual mechanized chassis.
Aurora looks to Wink and go, I can make you a platform if you want to get up to her.
Wink nods and like gets himself ready to start running towards that whatever platform she makes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's such a good idea. I love that.
So trying to like use one of like make a elongated like Rainbow Road kind of esque looking thing. Going up the tower.
In that case, I'm gonna need you to unleash your powers, Aurora.
Okay. Unleash powers. Just want to make sure if there's anything else. Let's see. When you unleash your powers to do something your future self can do, mark a condition and roll plus Savior instead of plus Freak. I think I'll just try to do Freak. I'll try to
Alrighty.
risk it.
Gonna freak it.
Oh, no!
Okay. I think narratively that's very fitting here. So you will have the choice as usual. I always give this choice is you may still get a basic success, a 7, if you mark a condition, or I can take a move. And I do know exactly what the move is if I take a move here.
I think it would be narratively fitting if a move was made, because I don't think any of these conditions quite fit Aurora just yet.
So here's what happens. You condense the light, and like you said, a rainbow road sort of rises from this sort of like, not quite dome, but this donut of earth that had kind of been made by Magnitude's barrier. And it sort of winds and spirals through the air, but is ultimately ramping towards the giant satellite dish above you. I'm going to kind of just... I don't know why it had the middle bit. There we go. As it sort of winds up to her, she, who's like kind of trying to fight against Aqua's... Cosmic Rain's tech disruption, would still hear the sort of warping of air, and as she looks over, she sees the like tip of the road reach up to where she is, and she smiles wickedly down towards you. As you see, she reaches out a hand, and the light from your barrier begins to be absorbed into her. And I think this is happening, Wink, as you're like running up it. And you see ahead of you the barrier is beginning to be eaten away. It's in the, what do you do, Wink?
I see the barrier starting to get eaten away.
Yeah, in the direction you're headed, up near where she is, she holds out a hand, and her ability seems to be absorbing light and then like firing it back out. As she begins absorbing Aurora's light from the road, it's like basically disintegrating towards you.
Wink has never had any doubt in his powers. As a matter of fact, he's allowed his powers to sort of, just run rampant. But in this moment, we'll just see if this works. Like he doesn't know what necessarily blocks his powers at all. So he's just gonna try to unleash them.
Hell yeah. Are you...
He's gonna...
Are you going to try to unleash... Are you just going to try to almost like completely unleash them? Or are you just trying to activate it now? More in the sense, are you using your moment of truth here?
You know what? Yeah, I think I will use my moment of truth here.
All right, so this road begins to get eaten away. You see the path up towards Cobb is beginning to shrink. You've made it halfway up this sort of rainbow ramp that would bring you to her, but you know she's out of your normal distance. But you also know that your powers, that they've been a lot more fluid, flexible, malleable to you lately. I think we all see almost like time slows down as a bunch of these soldiers see you rushing up towards Cobb, and they begin like firing up towards you with these ray guns. You look over, and because you are not resisting blows, you watch as like one of these stun batons cracks across Mr. Fix-It's face. As Mr. Fix-It, you like drop to a knee. As strong as you are, it is a sheer weight of numbers as a bunch of these soldiers just begin bearing down on you and just begin beating Mr. Fix-It down. You hop out of the barrier and you're like rushing to help, and with all of this happening, what do you do?
I think in that moment, with all of like the everything happening, Wink just sort of slow-mo while he's running up this hard light construct, just takes it all in for a moment. He runs right towards Cobb. I think he even takes a few shots. I think he takes a shot to the shoulder, he takes a shot to the chest, and on his way there, he begins to sort of stumble and falter, and he begins crawling up this hard light construct, just trying his absolute hardest to get within range, and he just can't. And he starts to feel very, very tired. And I'm going to use my moment of truth.
The last thing you see is Cobb holding out her hand, these little motes of light from Aurora's barrier, or from Aurora's ramp, absorbing into her, and the last thing you see before it begins to flicker is just this cocky smile as the ramp underneath you begins to slowly thin and fade, and you go unconscious. For everyone else, the moment you go unconscious, what happens? You hear dogs barking in the background.
I hear dogs barking.
As the whole situation is just crazy. They probably have some sort of detection dogs here on the facility. As the whole fight's happening, it's just sort of barking in the background, this loud noise crashing in. Go ahead.
About 5 seconds after Wink falls face first onto the floor of the hard light construct, he puts both of his hands on the floor and pushes himself immediately back to his feet. And he sort of wobbles still for a moment, and as he sort of looks around the battlefield again, he rips off the sort of eye mask, the sleeping eye mask that he's been using as sort of a visor this entire time, and underneath, his eyes are burning with this sort of purple, orangish colored energy. And as he begins to lucid dream, he looks towards Cobb and holds out his hand. And because he's in perfect control of his sleep patterns, he just holds out a hand and shatters the barrier. And the second he does, everyone else on the battlefield immediately falls asleep except for him and Cobb.
As this wave of energy just sort of erupts around you, you are looking up, and another one of the Mr. Fix-It, you look up and another one of these batons is about to crash into the side of your face as this wave hits everyone. And these soldiers just collapse around you, thudding, hitting the ground all at once. But something you didn't expect to happen happens. As in your dream, your friends also stay awake. As the soldiers around you collapse to the ground, the only things remain standing are the scant few robots left under her control, the giant mech which is now about to bear down on Magnitude and Aurora, but that's not what you focus on right now, as you watch Cobb's face sort of falter, and a snarl, a feeling of fury and anger begin to emanate from her, as you see she raises her hands, these massive light orbs almost beginning to glow from them, as she smashes her hands together and a beam of light shoots towards you, Wink.
I think as in this sort of nearly godly state he's in right now, it is literally described as godly.
Mm-hmm.
He just backhands the beam away from him, and it soars off into the sky. And as he does, he sort of begins to slowly walk along the length of the beam that she fired at him, and he's just like cracking his knuckles back and forth, and he looks at her and he says in a voice that sounds like thousands, "I think it's time we put this whole thing to bed."
The beam arcs through the air. There's like a cloud, like one of those just ambient clouds sort of floating over, and it hits the cloud, and we see it just like just completely dissipate the cloud as this beam of light just shoots off into space. She, in a moment of fear, looks at you, and she turns. These like light rockets from her feet almost seem to activate as she begins to try to rush away from you. You begin tearing after her, and as before we get to the final clash between the two of you, down below, these soldiers just finally crest the top of your barrier magnitude, and none of the human soldiers are left. They're all the scant few robot soldiers, and the giant mech are about to bear down on Rain, Aurora, and Magnitude. Rain, you're still controlling your ship, and you're directing it here. You would look up and you would see Cobb literally just running from Wink, as Wink is just tearing after her using abilities that you have never seen before. And I turn once more to Aurora, Magnitude, and Rain as you're being bared down upon by a large group of enemies. What do you do?
Okay. Is the mech still up? I think I might have something for that, but I'm going to let Wave go. Or Magnitude.
Oh, if you got something, you can take out the mech. Go for it. I have an idea for some of the soldiers.
Go for the soldiers first, because the less that Aurora has to deal with, I think, will be thematically helpful.
So they're coming over my wall and starting to jump into the pit.
Yep, exactly, right? Exactly. And these are robots right now. Like this is a bunch of those like construct robots. They have these like little ray guns that they're firing at you. When they hit, they hurt, right? Like it almost feels like it's like a psychic disruption on you. You feel weaker as it happens. Yeah. There's a little bit of drowsiness. They're almost like stun shots.
So Magnitude looks back at both Aurora and name slipping my head. Rain, and totally checks thing. Looks at them both and just steps in the way of the most direct shots, smiles, and then around the small circle that the three of them are in, the earth just starts to rumble, and they just sort of raise their hands as you also see the barrier start to rumble, and they just make a pushing motion and attempt, with the robots coming over, they're in front of the wall, they're all around the wall, just uses the tectonic might to shove them all outwards because they're robots. Who cares if they get destroyed?
I will allow you to either directly engage a threat or unleash your powers here, because they're not human. So if you succeed, it is overcoming an obstacle. So it's either freak or danger.
This would be powers.
Alrighty. So roll plus freak.
Oh.
Yo.
With a 14 kapow,
nice.
you tell us what this looks like.
So. Yeah, Magnitude steps back, and because they're now wearing the chest plate of their father, the ringing starts coming out as they're generating the seismic might. They just grab Aurora. They just sort of like gently grab Aurora and Rain and pull them in a position behind them, still wishing to protect their dearest friends, everyone here. They are feeling all that like tiredness, the weakness coming washing over them, but they sort of like they shake their head and they just sort of smile, and you see the barrier shatter, like break in the big circle that's around them, as well as all the earth except for that small circle that they're in, and they just make a pushing motion, and then the earth and the barrier all erupt and just blow out in every single direction.
Like a ripple outward. Some of them getting launched into the air and smashing on the ground. Some of them getting taken by the wave and crashing into the sides of walls, buildings, fences, stone.
Yeah. The smashing against the building as well that the radio dish is on, just superficially damaging it, of course. And then they stand there feeling a little tired and a little worn, and they turn to the other two and they say, "You two got this." And they just sort of go to a knee after taking shots.
You say you two got this, you go to a knee, and you, the giant robot, which is now kind of, it sort of like got stumbled a little bit by that, but is still moving towards you. Aurora and Rain, you watch as its chest plate, there's like a hissing sound of steam, and the chest plate splits open, showing a like giant, almost like cannon-like structure in its chest, which begins to glow as little motes of light begin gathering within the chamber. And Aurora, you recognize this before. Somehow, she's been able to recreate her own ability, her own light power. That cannon she fired at you, it seems like she's recreated it on this mech. As you've seen this glow of light before begin to build, as you know what's coming. A massive beam of energy is about to fire down towards the three of you as this thing is charging up its laser. What do you do?
Aurora, seeing that Rain is focusing on the satellite, Magnitude is keeping the soldiers at bay, and then Wink also keeping Cobb at bay so they can actually try to use their powers to hopefully protect their friends. Seeing this beam starting to come towards them, fix it, everyone, Aurora is going to let's see, I think now it's time. Moment of truth, gonna stand in front of their friends and unleash their power that they discovered or started to discover when they first fought Cobb.
Yeah, go ahead. You describe, because this is a moment of truth, the description is entirely yours.
Seeing the beam begin to charge up, Aurora flies ahead to face against this mech. Now that they aren't being bombarded by things that dampen their light, they seem to glow even more, and it's going beyond their wings. Like, it starts leaking onto their body, and like in their outfit and stuff like that, basically making their whole form turn into hard light as they charge up, wings growing bigger and morphing into like fragments of armor and like feather-like light. And in a moment when the beam starts to come towards them, instead of being entirely a shield, Aurora instead allows it to almost taking a bit from Cobb, realizing that they could try to bend their light in such a way to almost reflect it, if not also absorb it back and push it back into the mech in a very refined way, just to make sure that it only focuses on the mech and make sure it doesn't hurt anyone else. A big shining rainbow star, almost.
So, this massive mech bears down upon you, its chest plate opening, and this light cannon fires out towards you. You've seen the power of this before as you reach out with your own light powers, and the two of them beam clash in between the group of you, creating this this mix of your rainbow and Cobb's like stark yellow white light as the two of them fight against each other. And Aurora, you know that she has souped this thing up. This is more powerful than the beam you had fought against previously. And we all watch as the beam from the robot begins pushing yours back inward. And you know you can't fight it on a straight up 1-to-1 power sense. But you also know that your powers don't work the same. You don't absorb and fire light, you control light. And so in that moment, you allow it to turn back towards you. You allow this beam almost to encompass you, and you create a reflection barrier, which you bounce off of another one, and you bounce off of another one. And as this beam would envelop you and your allies, it gets refracted and reflected, warping around you into a collage of colors. And as the beam from the robot kind of sputters out, you have this whipping light around you, almost like these auroras just floating as it sort of bing, 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 keeps refracting and reflecting off these barriers, and you fire it back out towards the robot. You tell me what it looks like and how it destroys this thing.
It starts out as like, looks like it's going out too wide, but then as if, like, you know how like some prism lights kind of focus in on one spot and then shoot forward. So it looks like it's gonna be harmless, but it concentrates so precisely that it pierces through, and it looks like just a thread of very piercing white light. And as soon as it hits the mech, it just kind of bubbles out. The damage kind of bubbles out, like as if it was much bigger in like physical force, and melting away the mech, just like leaving this giant hole in the middle of it. And then just, it was just so simple and clean and sharp, and it barely makes a sound, but just so beautiful and precise.
Almost like a firework. This a firework and a laser beam in one. This blast of energy, of light, of power erupts through this thing, cascading it and causing it to collapse, crashing onto the ground. There's this rumble that echoes through the facility as Aurora, you breathe a little bit heavy, but you have successfully not only just deflected it, but have defeated the robot bearing down on you. Rain, you are nearly finished. With the time that your friends and allies have bought you, even without being next to the actual machine, you've been able to disrupt its signal, buying you that extra time. Your previous creations, those disrupting abilities from your sorry, someone's knocking on my door. Those disrupting abilities that you had developed and created, buying you those extra moments. And unfortunately, I do need to pause really quickly here for a break because this person is like continually ringing my door and knocking at it, and I have to go deal with that really quickly. I am very sorry. I'll be right back.
Water break.
Really quick water break.
Water break.
Water.
Think your order. I'll be like a second.
We are here. It's the big final fight.
The big fight.
Oh, I got to become a god.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, when you're dreaming, the lucid dreaming, aren't you basically like a demigod in your own dreams?
Yeah. You can do all kinds of shit.
Back from Oiter piss break.
Yeah. Get the waters.
We're doing it, team. We're doing it.
Almost there. I think now we just have to finish off Cobb and break the satellite, since we have all the
Yeah.
evidence.
I don't know. The god of sleep is currently following Cobb, so.
Yeah,
I think we got that kind of handled.
The god of
We just-
sleep is currently bearing down on her.
That's what you get for not taking regular naps.
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep, motherfucker.
I'm gonna hit her with
Take
the
a nap!
GTS.
You just
Be
read
put
the,
in timeout.
you just read the entirety of the "Go the fuck to sleep" book to her, and she just evaporates. That's-
Aurora's glad to have friends like these.
As is magnitude.
Yahoo!
We're doing it. We're heroes. Who would win, billionaire supervillainess or hydrogen sleep bomb? I don't know, Gravis.
Nitrous oxide bomb.
Go
Get
fuck
hit with
to
a
sleep.
NyQuil.
The spirit that inhabits Wink appears, and it's just that giant bottle of NyQuil. Damn.
Damn.
I'm gonna break down that dam tonight. It's been a lot of fun, everybody.
Oh,
Yeah, it has been a lot of fun.
Been a grand old time.
Yeah.
Good old time.
I'm so happy everyone else is getting to use their moment of truth. I used mine way earlier for very important reasons, and now everyone else gets to use it for very important reasons.
Yeah, it's very fitting.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna use my Mono shoot on Cobb, but it's just like, you know what? No, I don't need to use it on Cobb. This is...
Sorry, the god of sleep is pursuing Cobb right now. Cobb right
yeah,
now.
yeah. I think that was perfect. It's like 10 out of 10. Fuck her up.
Instead you get to completely melt a robot. Oh,
Ah,
can we sing?
orb.
The orb appears. It orb appears. Ha ha ha.
He is currently collecting 15 pizzas.
But apparently,
That must be it.
it must be. It must be.
500 pizzas.
Oh wait! That's a lot of za.
500 cigarettes.
500 robots crushed by rocks. I mean, Wink just used power word nap essentially.
I
so
am so sorry about that.
It's all good.
To give y'all an idea about what just happened, I just without going into it, fuck cops and fuck city ordinance.
I agree.
Oh man.
That was I'm not gonna go into it on stream, but
Glad you're safe.
yeah, it is the fucking grass. We have a time limit on it. It's a whole thing. But yeah, I'm not gonna say they were a nice cop, but the cop that we got was willing to give me a moment, and I appreciate that. But holy, yeah, city HOA got me, because it's not an HOA, it's city ordinance rules, that kind of shit. Holy, I am so sorry, y'all. The dude was literally just constantly knocking. It completely took me out of it. This is not why, but one of the reasons we're moving. But
Yeah.
anyways, once again, back into the swing of things. I believe we left off, now that I can actually focus and I don't hear someone banging on my door and ringing my doorbell repeatedly. The giant robot was just destroyed by our lovely hero Aurora. And Cosmic Rain, you are finishing tapping into the giant satellite dish, and you're finishing gathering those last bits of information you need to fully level a case against Cobb. the time that your allies have bought fighting the grunts, the goons, and the robots have given you enough time for your ship to arrive. But right before it does so, we're going to look back up in the air as Cobb is sort of darting around trying to avoid Wink. And you notice she pulls you away from the satellite dish and is now trying to like almost arc back towards it. What does this fight in the air with Cobb look like, Wink? Because this is part of your moment of truth. I will let you dictate. Like, she's firing beams at you. She's using these like bursts of light to kind of fly around and dash through the air. And like, what does it look like with you fighting back? Are you like blasting them away? Yeah.
I think at this point, Wink is basically unstoppable. Because he just sort of lets these light constructs hit him, and they just bounce right off. Like, he is for the first time in his life perfectly in control of his powers, and his powers are giving him like somewhat reality warping abilities, and he's using them to full effect. So he's just like almost like cartoon physics, just like batting them away.
The idea of when you are like the lucid dream, the ability to control the world around you, just being able to warp and blast these lights out of the way. But Cobb is incredibly smart. She dashes through the air. She's clever enough to like create these like little light reflections of herself to cause you to like maybe hit one of those instead of herself. And she's arcing back towards the satellite dish. And I think you are smart enough to realize that she is likely planning on using it again to try to turn it back on, maybe to even shut you down. And as the two of you are sort of dancing through the air, you're blocking and beating away all her abilities. She's slowly pushing the fight back towards the front of the satellite dish. But it's as that she's doing so, Cosmic Rain, what happens to the satellite dish?
Well, so Cobb isn't near anymore, right? She's off flying with...
Yeah, she's flying. The two of them are sort of like dancing through the air, fighting each other. She's trying to pull the fight back towards it, probably intending to use it to try to shut down Wink.
Okay, because if she's close enough... So there's this thing called Truck Kun.
Yeah.
But instead,
oh my god.
ship.
You're gonna isekai her.
Okay, so I will say, if I will say to just Truck Kun her, you will need to spend your moment of truth. Because and
that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah.
I wanted to do her with the satellite, basically, just that proximity. Because my ship isn't this itty bitty little dinky thing.
No, it's a big
fucking
fucking ship. Yeah.
Yes. And having that much of a watery, dense substance flying that fast.
So she is. The two of them are like dashing through the air. There's these beams of light firing out. Wink's batting them away before almost like teleporting up to her. She's just manages to get out of the way, creating a light construct of herself, and she is like angling the fight where she gets back in front of the dish. Her back is facing towards where the city is, and she's very clearly trying to lure Wink into the like line of the giant satellite dish. As she does that, a like little smile creeps over the corner of her face as she pulls up a pad, like an electronics pad, and she's about to activate it. And that's when the ship comes in.
Well, yeah. So as she's about to do that, it's like you get that that sort of like replay moment where the big ship comes in, smashes into a satellite and her, and just it's like a whatchamacallit, like replay almost. But as it's doing so, it's like, because it's traveling so fast, it also like breaks the sound barrier a little bit, so it's like a big boom. A big bada boom. But as it happens, Rain's just sitting down there and says like, I ship it.
I ship it. Amazing. As her back is to it, and there's a sonic boom from behind her. We see, like, camera perspective, we see her kind of, like, slowly turn in the air. And her scream is instantly cut off by the explosion of water meeting her and then hitting the giant satellite dish behind her. It completely crumples the satellite dish because of the shape of it. If you've ever turned, like, a spoon into the sink, like when the sink's running, and it sort of explodes the water in all directions around you, like around the spoon, it almost does that with some of the water. And with the lights from Aurora's abilities and the now massive amount of water droplets just in the air from the force of this explosion, as Cobb seems to be completely gone. No, like, completely unclear where she is. No body, anything like that. Full on isekai, just gone. As far as you can tell, the droplets of water sort of drifting through the air, a rainbow literally being made from the combination of light and water fragments. Rain, is there any more you want to do in that moment? Slash describe.
Well, so the ship itself, like, even though it's water, it's not just water. It's extremely dense. So whatever, water came off of it, it doesn't really affect its actual integrity very much.
Mm-hmm.
But after crashing into the the satellite and the area there, creating just basically like a crater almost, it just sort of sits there, looming, kind of unassuming, I guess.
Oh, the ship completely unharmed? The ship just, like,
yes.
kind of... as the...
Just floating, just, like, ready to go.
The satellite dish... The satellite dish is, like, bent in the other direction. Like, it was kind of coned one direction towards the city. As the, like, sort of spray of water begins to calm down, a bit of rain washing across all of you, wiping away some of the dirt and grime. The satellite dish, bent in the wrong opposite direction, kind of creaks and moans with that metal sound before crashing, creating a bit of like a dust cloud and a crater, a massive hole, just where that facility once was. The only thing remaining from that entire facility, with the rest of the electronics and the building construction scattered out behind, like across the whole back of these hills back here. The only thing remaining is this absolutely bent and defunct satellite dish crashing into the ground. A still comes over the battlefield as Wink, are you still mid-air? And when does your cognizance come back?
So once everything is sort of settled, like, we're like pushing Cobb. Like, the satellite is destroyed now, right?
Satellite is absolutely destroyed. Cobb was, like, taken in by the watery explosion from Aurora's ship. And...
Rain.
Or, sorry, from Rain's ship, my bad. I don't know why I did it. Now I understand. Alex, if you ever hear this, I forgive you about Hecatine and Kelma. Anyways. After the explosion of Rain's ship, the satellite dish is absolutely destroyed. Go ahead.
But I think with both of the major threats now sort of dispatched, Wink just sort of floats down to the ground, displaying another power that he shouldn't rightly have, but he floats to the ground, and once the danger is sort of past, he sort of stumbles and falls, truly asleep this time. And he sort of like groans in his sleep, like he's sort of in pain almost. As
Go on.
after I use my moment of truth, one of my labels is permanently locked.
Yeah. What label?
And I'm locking danger.
Danger. Hell yeah. As you collapse to the ground, I give you the choice now. Does it force anyone else to fall asleep? Or can you control that?
I think after expending so much of his energy fighting Cobb, I think for once, as Wink basically falls unconscious, exhausted from the whole ordeal, it's localized entirely to him this time.
As Wink collapses in front of the group of you, I think some of you may share a sort of like look between each other as you all realize that despite the close proximity of Wink being asleep, none of you instantly pass out.
God.
Well, I'll be damned. As Fix-It just pushes off a pile of also sleeping people and robots. Or broken robots. I'm surprised the kid is still sleeping. I mean, he ran around to sleep a while there.
Magnitude struggles to get up, still feeling a little weak. It's like, ugh.
You know, at least he's finally gonna get a good night's rest.
Yeah, but I'm not now. I've been sleeping so well with y'all just in the dorms over there. And now I'm just gonna take forever to fall asleep.
I think you say that as you sort of like scoop Wink up.
Oh yeah, cradle him up.
And as you scoop Wink up, I think that is when you would hear the sort of wee-woo sound of a fire truck heading in this direction and an ambulance. And as you turn towards the kind of dirt road leading towards the facility, you see ACAB vehicles heading in this direction.
Anyone need a ride?
Well, probably best we get out of here.
Are we wanting to exit or are we wanting to stay? Because I can have my ship take us.
Where's a trash bandit?
I think there's a cricket sound as you all look around.
Okay.
Oh, you know,
I'm sure he won't get caught.
He'll be back.
Okay. Just want to make sure he doesn't get caught. That's all.
Yeah, where's Cobb? That's probably a good thing to find before anyone gets here. At least starts looking around.
If there's much left of her.
It is entirely unclear. Either she was atomized by the force of the like water hitting her, isekai'd, or somehow managed to get away. But I think in the true spirit of a superhero story, we have to leave the fate of the villain nebulous.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case one day they make a return for a sequel that people are like, oh gosh, they made a sequel? Why
Exactly. And
why is that actor clearly not the same actor that played her before? You know,
I think with the group of you, I will leave it up to you all. Do you want to wait for the emergency services to arrive, or do you want to head back in Aurora's ship?
Are we sure that we want to leave
Not
it
Aurora,
anonymous? Of like who did this?
Do we want to face the music? Because they're probably going to be upset at us.
Why? We stopped. We have evidence.
Yeah,
We do have evidence.
that's fair enough. I can't really. Whatever they hit me with is making my legs really weak right now, anyway. So.
I am very tired, but if another person from Suits does pop up, I do want to make sure that they know that the threat has been taken care of here.
All right.
Instead of letting somebody make up the story of what actually happened.
You're the one who knows the media. I'll trust you. I'm just gonna.
That would be a
Lay
good
down.
call, right? I'm just asking.
I mean, you know how to deal with media. I think that you feel comfortable kind of like navigating this, and I do think that makes sense, right? Like Aurora would be like, no, if we try to leave, it'll look more suspicious. We should stay and try to explain things, and you all would see kind of alongside these emergency services, there is like a little, almost like dust trail running along just the hillside, as kind of skidding to a stop before the ACAB vehicles arrive. The local hero and a previous acquaintance of magnitude, Carbon Rider, arrives on scene, kind of looks across the devastation and just lets out a low whistle before just a... Well, now... Looks like we've had some real hero business here. Why don't you all take a walk with me and tell me what happened? And begins to sort of like gesture you all to the side as the wee woo of the sirens of the emergency services vehicles arrive on scene. Begin putting out fires. Begin loading up the injured soldiers into emergency vehicles and that kind of thing. And as you walk kind of with Carbon off to the side to sort of assess the situation, that is where we're going to begin to transition into our epilogue.
Ho ho!
Woohoo.
Do any of you have a specific desire to go first?
Yes, I will.
Go ahead. Take it away.
So in light of everything that's happened and all the information that we received and everything else, Rain at least is at the point where she feels she receives some summons from her home world regarding submitting a report on her findings and other things that have been happening, especially with, I don't know what was happening with Mask. Was actually kind of curious and wanted to check up on him to see what was going on with him, because he'd been acting kind of sus towards the end of things and hadn't heard back from him.
You settle down and you actually have a conversation with Mask, and Mask explains to you that there was a lot of red tape that he was trying to navigate, and that it seemed from his perspective that there were people within Suits that were working with Cobb and that were part of this sort of organization that was attempting to destabilize the hero structure within the city.
Okay. Just wanted to clear things up with him. Or it.
He, they.
And
it.
then, well, yeah, he, they, it. And then after that, I'll probably tie up some things. Also, like, check on some of my sensors and other things that I have set up on the planet. And then I'm probably going to check in with the group and let them know that I've got to report back to my planet on some things and make some preparations. But I might be gone for a little while.
Yeah. Do you want to hard frame that scene, like, with everyone?
Only people want to. Otherwise, I was going to just leave it as a message, because I figure goodbyes are never fun. So I'll probably just sort of like leave it as a little message that I send to everyone's little.
Oh yeah,
compacts.
Everyone kind of gets a beep on the shell phone. And what does it kind of say vaguely? Like, is it just what you described, or is there anything specific in there?
probably just leave it as I have to report back to my home planet and also make some preparations. But I won't be gone, hopefully, too long, and I'll be back to enjoy some boba with everyone, hopefully soon. And if they need me, or if they need anything, to just contact me through their compact.
Oh, the one thing I will say is at some point, Magnitude snuck a small amethyst into your belongings.
Aw.
Oh.
Or not amethyst, a sapphire for you, because sapphire equals water.
Aw.
Not goodbye, just see you later.
Yeah.
As I think looking out from, I think we see from a few different perspectives, like outside of your window, Aurora, and outside of wherever the rest of you are staying, I think we kind of see Rain's ship lift above the city, it sort of reflecting the night lights and the twinkling of the various city. Well, to use the word again, the various city lights sort of refracting and reflecting on the water barrier of your ship. It rockets into the sky as the message is delivered.
As it does, because of the water, it'll spray kind of like a mist to sort of look like falling stars almost.
Oh, twinkling stars and a little trail as it sort of disappears into the sky.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Is there anything more you want to do with that?
No, I think that's it for now.
Well, then that is goodbye to Cosmic Rain for now. On one of the TVs in one of y'all's rooms, a program comes on. Either you are watching it or it just sort of comes on as an announcement. And one of the council members of the local community center, of the local Association for Community Assistance in Banking, Robert Bobbert Jr., or the second, comes on screen. He sort of clears his throat before he begins to read from something he has prepared. To the citizens of New Columbia, I wish to be transparent and honest with what has been happening in the city lately. An individual by the name of Stacy Cobb, local semi-celebrity and very popular tech icon within the city and the Commonwealth in general, was stopped by a group of brave heroes within our own city limits. These heroes will remain anonymous until the investigation is completed. But as this is likely the last time I will have a chance to address you all and them publicly, I wanted to thank you and thank those heroes for the work and effort that they have put in to helping save our city. I myself was involved with Stacy Cobb, using my resources and my influence within the Association for Community Assistance in Banking. I helped enact her plans to potentially destabilize the hero systems here within the city. I was mistaken in believing that heroes were more of a detriment than they were a positive. My actions have directly harmed many people. I will be stepping down as council member for the Association for Community Assistance in Banking. And I will be stepping away permanently from public offices. An investigation is being led against me, but I am cooperating fully and attempting to bring to justice all who were involved in enacting her plans. I wish to request that there be no harassment or questioning of the heroes who were involved in this until further notice. And if you know who they are, please refrain from revealing them until the investigation is complete. Thank you. And a bunch of reporters erupt into questions, a bunch of things, but he just sort of folds the piece of paper, he nods one more time, and he begins to walk off stage towards the exit. And I want to ask, where is Mr. Fix-It right now?
Does he just leave towards an exit of the building, or just an exit into a different area of the building?
An exit into the different area of the building.
I think he would not see anything for a hot minute. He would just not, Robert would walk through the building until he got to the main exit, and he'd probably be accosted by news reporters and things until at the very end, when he opens the final door, he just sees Mr. Fix-It in front of the building where the stairs are, probably blocking traffic and trying to fix the Winnebago as it's smoking, and he's got his head in the hood, and as he was waiting for his son to step out.
You hear almost like a from behind you.
Robert, you done with your thing you were telling me about the meeting? Yeah, the press meeting. Yeah.
Hello, Father.
How's it going, Robert? He stands at not an attention, but more a professional with him.
Yeah,
trying to be.
His eyes dart to the radio within the Winnebago, which is currently on. I assume you were listening in.
Yeah, I caught it over waves.
He nods his head.
I'm real proud of you, at least for trying to make it right. Not for doing it, but a good person at least knows when they're wrong and is willing to admit it.
He has a face, an expression on his face, one of contemplation, I think is the best word. I appreciate you understanding, but what I did was wrong, and I don't know if I'll ever really make up for what I did. And I was actually going to ask if you had any ideas about what I could do now.
Well, actually, you remember that place I'll go down and say hi to Big Tony and all the villains I put away? They're short-staffed because a lot of them got loose. I'm sure they need a facility nurse to help out around the place. That's a good place to start. I mean, you got your way with villains anyways, as he kind of just does a really soft, he tries very active to do a soft punch to his shoulder. It's really slow and just kind of taps it, trying to be very soft to him.
He recognizes that, and then he cocks his head. You feeling all right? You seem a little bit, I don't know if this is rude to say, you seem a little weak.
He thinks it rubs the back of his head and is well, I think that last big robot fight was my last big robot fight. And he stretches and you hear a bone, just a normal crack out of his back. Oh, that. So I think I'm gonna be benched for a while.
Got it. Well, I'll apply to work at the facility, and maybe if I can work with some of the medical officers there, I can see about getting you some low dosages of the inhibitor. Maybe that'll take it easy on your muscles a little bit.
Do you mind helping me out with this? And he kind of just gestures to the Bago. You always were better with the mechanic side of things than I was.
Yeah, no problem. He takes off his jacket, and this man who had been for many years getting involved further and further into the bureaucratic side of his work. He takes off his suit jacket, rolls up his white sleeves, and he digs into the engine with you, going back to his roots as a mechanic. And you can't help but remember one of the first times you saw him doing work that he really loved. You remember him working very similarly on an engine for a fire truck, as you recall that when he first started with the ACAB, he started out as a fireman. And that sort of instincts kick back in as he begins working on your engine as he did that one. I now hand your exit to you, Mr. Fix-It. Is there any more you wanna do? See, any more scenes you wanna have?
I think Fix-It definitely kind of revels in the moment that he's having with his son, but later on that night, he does send a text out to Wave and asked if they could meet up at the diner.
They absolutely do.
And yeah, if you probably arrive there afterwards, and you would see Fix-It already halfway through some steak and eggs, and on the other side of the table is a large stack of waffles.
Magnitude or Quinn in this instance, because they come dressed in very much civilian attire, a little more styled up, almost like someone may have helped them at some point. They just go and sit down across and look at the waffles like, is this for me?
Remember last time you didn't really get to enjoy them too much because of all the... Yeah. You gotta taste them, they're really good.
I think I'll do that. Ironically, I've been very hungry.
Yeah, have you been busy?
Yeah. Things have been busy. Though, I gotta say, none of it really feels right without any of you. So.
My time was already on. It's short fuse, and I'm sure you see the rest of them in the hero business just the same.
I mean, yeah, but...
They sort of like sigh and look down, and then they slide like a little box across the table to Mr. Fix-It. I made something for you.
Oh, and he'll take it and he'll pop the lid open.
Being so connected to the earth, you find lots of things, and I'm not good at emotional stuff,
and it's just like inside, there's like, it looks like a like one of those little measurement things, but fitted on it is it looks like they bought one with their, or like got one, but it looks like they fitted on just like a little, like it has like a little bloodstone and a little carnelian on it. It's just like, as like where the little measurement things line up to do the measuring. It's like one representing strength and the other representing a family member, and just kind of looks away and is like, I'm bad at stuff like this. Dad never let me ever do it, so I'm trying to show you all I care. That's for you.
Kid,
I know you.
Kid, this is great. I'm gonna use this pretty much every other day. He'll actually like put his, like he reaches over the table, put a hand on your shoulders, like, you're a good kid.
Thank you. I wish you were my actual grandpa. Actually.
You know what they say? Blood. You pick your family. You don't have to stick with the one that you were given.
Well,
That's how I felt about all of you anyway, including you.
And you see just like, hang on, my goggles are fogging up. He starts like taking his goggles out and like cleaning them off with a rag. Oh shit. Oh, yeah. I called you for a reason, buddy. I need you to explain this to me. Why'd you take his name then?
I knew this was going to come up at some point, and you don't have to call me his name. It was for me. I couldn't let him have power over me anymore, and I felt like the biggest way I could give a middle finger to him and what he left behind was to make a new one. A new legacy for his name in the future. You don't have to call me Magnitude. I still have a hard time calling myself that sometimes, but it was for me. And it was for, in some way, an attempt to make right for what he had done, but also just to leave that all behind. You don't have to call me Magnitude. Anything you want to call me, I will respond to. It's not a requirement.
Quinn, once you change his name, I'll call you and I don't mind. If that's what you want.
Only if you want to. Again, your family, so you can call me whatever you want and I'll respond.
Alright. You gotta try that strawberry maple. It's so good.
Oh, yeah. They pick up their utensils and actually get to eat the food at the diner for once.
Tastes a lot better than the time that you lost them right after.
Yes, very much so.
But the two of you have a nice meal with each other, and I think from a like visual standpoint, we kind of see from Mr. Fix-It's perspective. And there's a moment, Mr. Fix-It, where you're like looking down at your food and you're like eating. And when you look up, it's not you sitting across from Quinn. It's you sitting across from Ricochet. And you blink and it's Quinn again. But there's that moment where you see kind of like in the same position, the same way that Quinn's sort of looking out over the city through the window. You kind of see the two of them silhouetted over each other. Where you once saw Ricochet sitting at the same booth in the same diner, looking out the window in the same way.
Damn, funky goggles.
You need to get those checked. They fog up a lot.
Alright, hang on. He takes them off and he spits at them, and then he rubs them down. You know, the spit's supposed to help with the fog and keeps his saliva.
For the first time in a while, you see Quinn visibly wince, but just sort of laugh. It's like a...
I think camera kind of angles out from the window, and as the two of you begin laughing together, it sort of like auditorily muffles and fades as we zoom out from there. And Quinn, are there any other moments or scenes you want to have for your goodbye?
Well, there's a nice little... Well, I feel like they could have a scene with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that would depend on anyone else if they want a scene with them. But I'll take this moment to actually reach out to their roommate, you know?
Yeah.
So they reach out to their roommate. I don't know if they still live together or if once that was all done, they moved apart again, but
you two still would have the suit's housing, but it is up to you. It's your and Wink's decision whether or not you two are still roommates.
All right. Well, they have chosen to still live in that housing because it's nicer than living in a basement.
Mm-hmm.
So they sort of have waited for Wink to come home, or have texted to see if Wink is going to come home in that moment. But if they still live together, Wink has sort of known of their plans and like giving gifts to all of their teammates, right?
Yeah.
So
Wink basically immediately after receiving that text walks out of his room.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, what's up?
How's sleep been doing for you now that you can sleep a little bit?
It's been pretty good being able to sleep and not have everybody crash their cars around me.
Yeah, I guess so. That makes sense.
I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but, well, till then.
Well, I mean, seems like you have better control over things now.
Oh yeah, I'm living it up.
They sort of laugh. Hey, catch this. They just chuck like a little box at
Whoa!
you.
He catches it, looks at it. What is it?
No, open it up. Once inside, you see, for you, who was the ex public soldier turned sleepy superhero, there is like what appears to be like a badge, and on it they have very carefully, but also, you know, they are who they are. There is a small piece of amethyst encrusted onto what looks like a badge for public service. It goes, for you. I found it broken amongst your stuff, so I tried to fix it.
Wow. This is pretty cool.
Well, it's yours. I told you what my plan was. Kind of hard to hide from the person you live with.
Yeah, it's just actually seeing it is...
Yeah, well, thanks for being the first person I get to live with and actually want to hang out with, so...
Hey, thanks for being hang out with-able.
Well, I mean, you sure helped me sleep once or twice, that's for sure.
Ha!
Anyway, that's for you. Made one for everyone. I got one more to give out.
Thanks. I appreciate this.
Yeah, and genuinely, like, I hope your powers continue to be some of the coolest shit I've ever seen.
Ha. We'll see.
Almost on time with that, there's another boop boop from your phone, Wink.
He'll pick it up and look.
It is a text message from Liftoff. Says that some of the results came back in from your last sleep test, and that it seems kind of excited. The message simply states, "Hey, results came in. I think I have some good ideas for how to make the new sleep situation permanent. See me in my office whenever is best for you."
Now, I gotta go do some work. And you see them sort of like go to get changed, and they say, the wash needs help all the time. As much as I'm here, that'll always be home, so I'm gonna go clean it up a bit.
In Magnitude's hands, I'm sure they're gonna be safe.
Oh, I'm sure they'll feel I'm sure a magnitude of change is coming their way. And then they close their door.
The two of you sort of separate as you head into your room, Magnitude, and Wink, we turn it over to you. Are there any moments or scenes you wish to have for your goodbye here?
I think pretty immediately following the battle, there was a lot of tests done on Wink in regards to his powers, and I think they learn that after he sort of unleashed his powers like that, it kind of tapped him for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So until his powers sort of like re-manifest, he's kind of on the shelf at the moment, and you know, he is physically as well, he feels drained from having done all of that. And he just finds himself, you know, finally having a purpose to his powers, and finally, you know, solving his first major villain event, and now he's not a hero anymore, at least not for the moment. So he's just sort of lazing around trying to figure out what he can do.
I think that you, in your working with Liftoff, are offered a position there for the time being to assist with any lab work and to continue basically being under observation as they keep an eye on you and sort of figure out what next to do. That is at least something that is offered to you in this moment.
I think he would end up taking like a temporary position that isn't a hero-ish.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Maybe working on the dispatch line or something. Who knows?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Working as either a dispatcher or one of the handler, getting into the more logistical side of suits, working alongside Ricochet, and I think a couple of times, humorously, you end up being on the opposite side of a call with Magnitude, who ends up working in the wash as a offhand vigilante.
Hell yeah.
Needs some individual coordination on occasion. The two of you sort of like I think we might see as like a one of the last scenes for you is like you walking into work and you putting on like the headset and everything and getting on call, and you just hear Magnitude's voice on the other end. And as that scene sort of fades out, I will check in one last time. Are there any last little moments you want to have? Wink.
I think that's it, really.
As we see Wink, no huge bags under the eyes, rested and sitting down at work. A smile maybe crossing over your face as you hear Magnitude on the other end. And is where we're gonna once again I think I'm gonna take a little liberty here, and I think you look over at a picture taken by Carbon of the group of you at the Cobb facility site, as with everything like destroyed in the background. And it kind of zooms in on the picture and zooms back out on the same picture in Aurora's apartment, where we catch up once for the first time, for the last time, with Aurora.
Aurora is updating their blog and stuff like that and sending out text messages. Happy to hear that Rain is just taking a small hiatus and going to be visiting back to Earth and making sure that people at their like offices, like they get like, it's anonymous but you know who it's from, coffee and donuts sent their way from their secret little stash places that they know throughout the city of like the best spots, and maybe in one instance they send out some tickets to all of their fellow heroes that they worked with to visit one of their concerts.
I think as we see you handing the letter to like a postman or something like that, the person kind of nods and smiles and then hands you a small package that seems to be signed from Magnitude.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, open it.
Magnitude,
So-
your last gift.
So the last gift, certainly not the least. There is a perfectly round, clear sphere that has been set into what looks like something they bought that looks like a star. And as soon as Aurora touches it, the latent light from her fills it and it becomes a rainbow inside. As a nice piece of rainbow quartz lights up in front of her.
They of course take a selfie with it.
Hmm.
Classic little peace sign as they like show it near their face. It's just like, look what I got, happy face, like lots of emojis all over it.
Yeah.
Posted it on the blog. It's just like from big fan. It's just so cute.
I think we
No, not either of
see.
those.
I think we see that picture on like the social media, and then there's like a ding that happens over it, and we see that Aurora is now looking at it after it's been posted for some while, and there's the like sound of a crowd kind of in the background. And what does Aurora's stage outfit look like?
Since they have unlocked a little bit more of their powers, there are more rainbows and less of the same like pinks and yellows now. It definitely is more of a spectrum of colors nowadays, and the wings have somehow gotten slightly larger than most of their other gigs in the past. But they seem to have gathered even more of a crowd, and the crowd seems more demanding, but Aurora seems okay with that and is happy to find a place and a moment of peace and to get back into being a little bit of an entertainer. But when duty calls, they are happy to jump back into the fray and be a hero again when it's needed. But right now, it's just them, the stage, the fans, and just the feeling of good friendship.
And as the crowd calls you, I think we end our campaign in Uma Musume style with a pop performance from Aurora during the credits.
Incredible.
Oh yeah,
Lovely.
amazing.
And that is where we're gonna leave our pristine suits. Thank you
Beautiful.
all so
Oh my
much for
God.
being here. Thank you all for telling this story with me. Thank you all, everyone who's watched this. Thank you to my players. Just tons of appreciation and love. Great job, everyone. I appreciate you all so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for running.
Thank you for running. It was
Yeah,
This
it's
was
fun.
amazing.
I'm glad y'all had fun. We are going to. I'm gonna start the rating out process. But before we do that, we're gonna give one last see you later from all of our players here. We'll start off with we'll go in reverse order from our goodbyes. Aurora, aka our Calligraphy Inc. Yeah, why don't you give us your goodbyes here?
Yeah. It's been a pleasure. I have been Ray, also known as Key Ink or Calligraphy Ink on various platforms. We'll be hanging out with Gaius Ghostpaws this Friday to do some more murder mystery game. And yeah, I was playing as Aurora Lucky Aurora. Passing it on to Aqua.
Hi, I'm Aqua, also known as Aqua Sylph. It was fun playing as Cosmic Rain. Really enjoyed the group. You could find me on Twitch under Aqua Sylph. I'll probably be doing some more streams here the next day or so, going over some Honkai Star Rail content, possibly even some book narration and other little fun things. So
Ooh, hell yeah!
if you happen to catch it, great. If not, hope you have a good time regardless.
Book narration sounds super
And-
cool.
Yeah, let's see here. And I guess let's go to Gaius.
Hello, my name is Gaius Ghostpaws. You can find me anywhere under Gaius Ghostpaws. And tomorrow at 11 a.m. PST, I will be continuing a murder mystery game with Ray Key Ink here. We'll be playing Tangle Tower. It's a very nice, very funny game so far.
Woot woot.
And I will be signing up for the last time as Magnitude, the Scion. And I will
Right.
pass it on to Connor.
It's me! Hello, everybody. I am Connor, aka Distortion Devil. You can find me basically everywhere at Distortion Devil. You can find all of my TTRPG content over at youtube.com and patreon.com/Devils and Dice Rolls. And I have been Noah Butler, aka Wink, the sleepy superhero.
And lastly, certainly not leastly, thank you for your premiere appearance on stream, the one, the only, Ross.
Hello, I am Ross indeed. I'm just a guy who likes playing tabletop RPG with his friends and had a blast in this campaign. I played Robert Bobbert, aka Mr. Fix-It, the Bull. And you'll probably end up finding me back here eventually. And I think, I will, I don't know when, it's sometime in August, but maybe you'll find me over on Zan's channel.
Eyebrows, eyebrows.
Eyebrows, eyebrows.
Oh.
Very
But
exciting.
it's been a blast, and thank you for running the game, Leah. And I pass it
Of
to you.
course. I have been Amusing Thalia. I will continue to be Amusing Thalia. You can find me everywhere at that name. But if you can, you already have, if you're listening to this. Thank you so much for being here. We all get a limited amount of time on this plane, and thank you for spending some of yours with us here today. There will be another campaign in this time slot moving forward in the future, but we don't exactly know when. I've got to finish moving, so there will be like video games here for a little bit as I play some RPGs and finish up with some stuff. But after that, there will be a one-shot with the lovely Ross here that I've been writing for quite some time, and I'm very excited to show off. And then we'll come back with another campaign in the not too far future. And we will see what that is, what we're playing, and what everyone will be playing as when we get closer to that. But in the meantime, thank you so much for everything that you do. And I'm going to send you all out to one Burnout Vaughn, who is the host of the other Suits game. So if you want more Suits and are sad this is ending, you can always find more on Burnout Vaughn's channel. So thank you all so much, and you all have a good one. Signing out as superheroes. Bye-bye.
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 Bye.